Residents are being advised to exercise caution when travelling. Forecasters project more rain and wet weather this week, and the area has been hit by heavy rains and strong winds this week, and some people have been evacuated from their houses. Ayesha Ismail is following the story for us and has braved the rainy, wet weather. I believe in the Citrus Dal area. Ayesha, you'll bring me up to speed because I know you're moving around a lot on a day like today. Such is the nature of a story when we have heavy rains in the Western Cape like we've had this week. Some are calling them rather historic, and I think it's got to do with the amount of water that has come and also how the big parts of the Western Cape that it has affected. Tell us where you are, Ayesha, and what you're seeing.
Well, Marcel, I heard you saying that Aviwe has had to go and buy a new T-shirt and a toothbrush. Well, I'm very soon going to have to go and look for some dry clothes. And yes, you are right, I am in the Citrus Dal area. But the heavy rains and flooding across the Western Cape have actually caused extensive damage that we've not seen in many years. And some people are saying that the type of flooding that we're seeing at the moment, we've not seen in about 10 years. We've seen rivers overflowing, dams overflowing, and it's not only built up areas that are being affected, but also informal settlements, of course. Here in Citrus Dal, you can see a lot of infrastructure has been damaged. This is the overflow from the Olifants Rivier that burst its banks. Many rivers across the Western Cape also overflowing, and I'm also being told that the historic Vemishoek Dam, the dam that we've all been taught about when we were at school, has for the very first time in 30 years, Marcel, has had to open one of its 3 sluice gates to allow the water to gush out to preserve the integrity of the dam's walls. You can imagine how full that dam must be. But as you can see here, when I talk about damaged infrastructure, just look at this road here on the R303. This is the road that comes from Cape Town into Citrus Dal. And for days now, the people in Citrus Dal have not been able to leave the town because of the damage to the road. Now, the Western Cape Provincial Government, with its disaster risk management, as well as the South African Defence Force, and of course the gift of the givers, have been working tirelessly across the Western Cape to help communities in distress. And I'm now joined by Ali Sable, who is standing here with me in the rain. Ali, you have been working around the Western Cape. We are here in Citrus Dal at the moment. We know that there are choppers that were supposed to fly out. What happened to that?
Thank you, Ayesha. So the initial plans was this morning for the choppers to take off at 7:30. We planned that it should leave from Porterville over into Citrus Dal, which would have been about a 15-minute journey. Then the plan was changed at 7 o'clock this morning to divert the choppers to where we the Citrus Dal Air Base, which is adjacent to where we are standing now. It would have been going into town. It would have been about 3 minutes, but the weather is not looking good. As you can see, the winds are picking up, and there's more rain predicted in the next 2 to 3 hours. Severe storms, and with that, they had to ground the helicopters. We then had a meeting with disaster management teams who said we will try to get some rubber boats in getting those goods across to the people on that side. As you correctly said, they've been cut off since Wednesday already, and they're quite hostile and agitated at the moment because they receive no form of assistance. They are being accommodated in the community halls. We're just taking a decision now. They have found a breach on the other side of Clan William leading into Citrus Dal, where only 4x4 vehicles can go across. So we are looking into that option. It's a safer option. So the goods will be loaded from our trucks into these vans and carried across by those by disaster management teams, by the West Coast disaster management teams, and of course ourselves, who has the 4x4 vehicles, to take it to the people across. It will be a longer route, but at least they will be getting some form of assistance because they've been cut off for days.
But Ali, while we're standing here in Clan William, there are also people who are suffering in the city of Cape Town, on the Cape Flats, for instance.
That's correct. So when the rain came down on the 14th of June, the calls started pouring in from 4 a.m. this morning, from that morning. As I'm speaking to you, we have teams currently with distributions in Langa in Strand, in Guguletu. We visited numerous locations over the last few days. Tomorrow we are going to Rossonville. As we know, they've been cut off. In fact, they're the most worst affected of all the floods happening in the Western Cape. 1,064 people affected. The Huguenot Tunnel was closed. We have worked out a route for our truck to go via Ceres, Wellington into the Rossonville area. As the call just came through now as well, areas as Paul in Umbakweni, our teams was yesterday as well, has been affected again. Wuppertal, Vredendal, which is adjacent to Citrusdal, has been cut off as well.
Thank you so much for your time, and that was Ali Sable from the Gift of the Givers. And Marcel, I'm going to leave you and the viewers with the visuals of the Olifants Dam here in Citrusdal, and as we say in Cape Town, dit is frekkoud.
Goodness me, Ayesha, and of course the locals will also talk about 8 dae wind and 8 dae reën, and I'm sure locals will be hoping that that doesn't spring true this time around, although we have had warnings of much more rain to come. These pictures coming to you live from the Western Cape, Citrusdal in the Western Cape. And just out of shot, you'll see that there is actually a road that has been washed away. The road that connects Cape Town to this town of Citrusdal has been washed away, making it more and more difficult for help to get there, for people to be able to move in and out of Citrusdal, and for authorities to try and get them the help that they need as well. Ayesha reporting to us live there, along with the Gift of the Givers, giving us an update at what they have been able to do there, along with the vast other areas in the Western Cape that have been affected by these flooding waters. Really mind-boggling pictures we're seeing coming through from the Western Cape. We've been bringing those pictures to you as well, but also all over social media as well. People just showing us the immense damage and impact of the rain that has fallen over the last few days.